All right, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Um, my name is Eric. I'm here to talk about real estate, guys. If y'all have any questions about real estate investing, put them in the chats. Be more than welcome to answer any questions. I've been doing real estate for quite some time now, and I just love coming on here and teaching others on how to do this. It's not as hard as you think it is. A lot of people just get in their own way. That's where the real problem is. A lot of people just get on their way in their own way, and they don't realize it's a mindset thing that you got to get over. So I'm just out here to give encouragement, guys on YT. I'm here. I'm also on TikTok. So please, if you will, guys, tap the screen because that really does help the algorithm and it brings people in. And I'm just trying to help people out to get to that next level. We're in 2026. We are January 15th, 2026. And unfortunately, a lot of you guys are going to remain in the same situation only because of choice. Okay. Only because of choice. And I just know I always use myself as an example because I was where you were at and I didn't have the financial literacy. I have it now. I still grow every single day. But what I'm telling you is, I thought working two jobs was going to get it for me. And I found out pretty quickly that's not the way it really works. You have to understand in order to get really, really ahead and advance financially and become financially free and successful, you must own assets. This is where people lack information. You must own assets. Working two jobs is not going to do it. Trust me, I've been there before. Working two jobs is not going to get you ahead financially. Matter of fact, I guarantee you that. I used to work two jobs. I used to work a lot of overtime. I did all that, trust me. And it did not get me any further ahead. So I just come out here and give y'all a game, guys. And if y'all have any questions, be more than welcome to put them in the chats. All I do is buy investment properties and I turn around and rent these things out. Been doing it for quite some time now. And like I said, I just come out here and share this information. I know what it's like living check to check and being broke, but I lacked information. I lacked a whole lot of information. And I'm just telling you what worked for me. So after doing this for so long, guys, if y'all are trying to get ahead financially, if you're sick and tired of struggling and barely making ends meet, you feel like you're on that hamster wheel because you are, the system is not set up and designed for you to win. When you understand that, something will click and you'll be like, okay, I got to figure out a different way. This was me. I said, I got to figure out a different way because the system that's in place is not working. Duh. It's not created for you to win. It's only created for you to be plugged in and be replaced at their leisure. So I'm telling you, I always tell people, man, you can get into real estate and you don't have to have perfect credit. That's not the way this works. The way I teach it and the way I do it. And you don't have to have millions of dollars. That's not the way it works. One of the best things about real estate is I can use other people's money, which I do, to go out and get these deals. I don't use my own money. Okay. I don't want to, right? The rich understand they leverage by using other people's money. The middle class think, well, I got to put this stuff on credit cards. I got to get in debt. And no, you don't. Not even close. But when you understand that you can leverage by using other people's money, now you get ahead in a level that you've never thought. But a lot of people just don't have this information. I just try to come out and do my best to help people out. So if you have any questions, whether you're on YT or TikTok, put them in the chats. I'm here to answer any questions. You don't need a degree for this. You don't need a license. You don't need a certificate. You can try to go to 4 years of college, but that's not going to do you any good. I promise you, because they're not teaching this stuff. And all I do is buy these properties, I hold on to them, and I rent them out to Section 8. Now, to me, that's where the bread and butter is. That's where my, I guess that's where the best thing is. And I've learned real estate is just the way to go. I've done other things like, and I'm doing crypto and some other things, but I'm telling you, my main investment is putting it into real estate. But you got to understand how it works. Okay. So don't just go in here and just dump money into it, because that's what I did when I first started out. Didn't have the information, didn't have the knowledge, but I still did it. Now that wasn't a smart move. So Don't do the same things I did. Okay. But I was at a point in my life, I was just getting tired of working for somebody else. I was getting tired of being bossed around. And that didn't even really bother me to a certain extent. It was mainly I knew I wasn't getting anywhere financially, and that was eating me up. And I already knew that if I kept doing what I was going to keep doing, I was going to keep getting what I was getting. And that's you too, right? If you keep doing your daily habits of nothing, you're just going to get nothing. That's just the way it is, right? But if you just take the time out to read 10 pages out of a good self-help book, for example, that can get you ahead. Just think about it. 10 pages each day for 365 days for the year. Oh my, you'll be so far in advance, more than your peers. It'll be unbelievable. And you'll just learn each day. You're learning more and more. And that's what it takes. But people don't really understand that. You have to want this, right? I don't understand, like, most people are so used to being broke, they're comfortable with it and they accept it. But you don't have to, right? You don't have to accept it. You can say, you know what? Today I'm going to make a change. Today I'm going to do something different in my life. Today I want financial freedom. Today I want to be able to start my own business. You can do that. Nobody's stopping you. Not the president, not the economy, nothing's stopping you. You're the only person in your way. And this was me when I first started out. I was like, man, I wasn't blaming anybody because I don't have that type of mindset. It was just I needed to get the right thing first. And I tried a lot of different businesses. I tried franchises. That didn't work because the one I was going to get into was a Mako car auto dealer, or auto car, like paint shop. I'm glad I didn't get into that. I was thinking about a Subway. But over time, I just started to realize, and after hanging around people that were doing and more successful than me, I started to realize real estate was where it's at. And it's not going anywhere. People have to have a place to live. It's just the way it is. And I just come out here and teach people, man, real estate, it can do wonders for you, but you have to have assets in your life, and people don't understand that. And that's what I try to come out here and tell you. Again, they're not going to teach this in your education system. They didn't teach me this. The only way I was able to find out about all this real estate game is by getting around and hanging around successful people. That's what you got to do. I network, network, network. And I was networking at investment groups near me. And I just went to one just last week. I went to an investment group. But that's the key. I want to hang around people that are doing and successful. And that's what I want to do. And I want to learn. And that's how I got into the real estate game. And I started getting more confident. I started getting more knowledge and more information and got more exposure to these things. And that's what you have to do. That's all you have to do. Get around people that are successful. You can do the same thing. All right. So everybody has the opportunity to get into real estate and become successful, but it's just really up to you. But a lot of this, I always say this, is a mind shift change. You have to shift your mindset. I like what Edward Deming said. He says, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. A lot of people keep doing the same old thing over and over again each day, and you think something is going to change, but the problem is you keep doing the exact same thing. How can it change? Right? How can it change? And again, as I stated earlier, you can make small changes, like, for example, reading 10 pages out of a book. You don't have to read the whole book. Just read 10 pages out of a good book, and you'll be that much further ahead, way further ahead after even 2 months. You just gain this knowledge and information. Now, here are some books I recommend, and there's no particular order. All right. So if you're sick and tired of being broke and you're trying to get ahead financially, and you know what you're doing is not, because a lot of y'all know what you're doing is not working. You just need the information. So here's a couple of books that I'm going to recommend. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Most people, excuse me, most people that are entrepreneurs, they've read this book. Um, and it's been around for a long time. It's like a bestseller. It's definitely a bestseller. What's going on? It's definitely a bestseller. Another book would be Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The reason why I like this book, I really love this book, is because it's not even talking about real estate. It's really talking about shifting the mindset. And I say this over and over again on my lives. A lot of y'all have to just change your mindset. You're around the wrong people. You got to get around different people. You got to get around people that are successful or doing what you want to do. There's a hint right there, right? I had to get rid of my old friends. I had to get rid of, and that doesn't mean I hate anybody. It's just I just knew I had to separate. If I wanted to grow and I wanted to fly and soar, I had to get around those that were doing that. All right. That's what I figured out when I was younger. Definitely had to do that because some people, and they don't do it with intention a lot of times, they're going to bring you down. They're not going to believe in you, right? They're going to tell you, you can't do this. Do you know how many people had tell me I can't do real estate? I'm not smart enough. No, I am smart enough. I just need to get in the right position. I need to get in the right rooms. I need to get the right information. And then I was smart enough to take action. All right. So these are the things that I'm telling you. If you want to really get ahead, these are the things you really, really got to do in order to get ahead financially. Okay. So again, guys, if y'all have any questions about real estate, I'm a real estate investor. I'm here down south. I do the buy and hold strategy. I rent out to Section 8. This is definitely my bread and butter. This is something that I know I'm comfortable with, and I love teaching it because I was just like everybody else, living check to check, being broke, not being able to make ends meet, trying to figure it out. It took me a long time to figure this real estate game out. And now I just buy properties and rent these things out. It's not hard for me. It's not hard for me because I took the time out to learn it. And guess what? You could do the same thing. I always use this analogy. You know, when it comes to this, you nobody had a instructor, or you didn't need to go to school or class to learn TikTok, but you learned it. You didn't have any instructor. You didn't have any type of books to read. You didn't go to any classes. It's because you took the time out to learn it, right? You took the time out to learn it. A lot of y'all know how to post. You know how to make videos, put them on here. You know how to do a lot of stuff on here because what entertains you trains you, right? Because you put so much effort into it. Blew my mind. A lot of people just doom scrolling. Think about it. You doom scroll all day long on this app, on this social media, right? I'm making content and I'm providing service and help for other people. But a lot of people are just on here just doom scrolling, wasting time. Think about it. Is it really worth it? They did a study and they're saying it's anywhere between people spend between anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day. That's on the low side. 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. Now think about it. You're spending time on social media every single day, haven't gained any knowledge, any information. It didn't transfer to monetize and make any income, but yet we do that every single day. Think about it. 2 to 3 hours a day. That's a lot of time. Just imagine if you took 2 to 3 hours a day to study the game of real estate, to learn real estate. Just imagine. You would be that much further ahead. You wouldn't be broke. You'd be learning how to go out there and buy assets or doing crypto or starting a business. It's because you put your mind to it. It's because you put your effort into it. And that's what I tell people. That's what you have to do in order to get ahead. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not throwing shade on anybody. I'm just saying in order to do these things, you got to put effort into it. All right. And I know for me, I was just sick and tired of being broke, and I was willing to do whatever I could because being at work more than I was at home, it just didn't add up for me. And then I look back and I'm thinking, wait a minute, hold on. I'm not getting ahead financially. I'm at work 12 hours a day, right? I'm on the road for 3 hours. Sometimes I had to travel and work out of town. I said, I'm not going to keep doing this. So I started hanging around people that were successful, had businesses, right? Had franchises, doing real estate. The real estate was the one that struck me the most. That was the one that I gave the most attention to, was real estate. And I started to see how great it was. And once I understood that and saw that, I said, you know what? I'm going to start following those people. I'm going to start learning from them. That's who I'm going to follow. And that was the best schooling that I've ever had. That was the best teaching that I ever had, was watching other people become successful. And then I got to a point where I said, you know what? I'm getting tired of being on the sideline. I got tired of being on the sideline. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to do something different. And I haven't looked back since. Now, what pushed me into getting into real estate was I got laid off from corporate America. So not only was I sick and tired of it, but now I was at a point now I was actually getting laid off. And I got laid off, and I'll never forget that. And let me tell you what, that was a very low point in my life. I had my second child on the way. My wife was a stay-at-home mom, and I just gotten laid off. I went to school for this job, right? So I'm thinking, man, this is a great job. I'm thinking I'm going to retire there. Didn't quite work out like that. And I like what Edward Deming said. I say this all the time. Once the mind has been changed to a new idea or concept, it can never go back to its original format. When that happened to me, everything changed for me for the better, because I started to realize real quick, this corporate America gig that they push on us, it ain't all that. It's not all that. And you know that because a lot of you guys are at a job you don't want to be at. A lot of y'all are working where you don't want to be at. You know you're getting overworked and underpaid. You know that. I don't need to tell you that. You know that. You know you get tired of being committed to something that you're not getting a lot of results at. Just imagine you're working day in and day out, and you ain't got nothing in your bank account to show anything, right? That's most of us. And I started to realize, wait a minute, I got to follow these people. They're telling me I got to get assets, and now my money is working for me instead of me working for my money. That's when things change for me. And that's when it can for you too. So, guys, if y'all have any questions, I talk about real estate investing, guys. I'm here down south. I tell people all the time, I think down here, down south is probably the best place to get real estate. All right. I like it here down south. It's usually the weather's better. It's cheaper cost of living. That is the truth. It is cheaper cost of living. But I'm telling you, if you want to do real estate investing, I'm telling you, Texas, Miami, Alabama, Georgia, all those places is a very good place to get started in real estate. Two places I would never go is California and New York. Those are just very, very expensive places. But I'm just telling you, this is just my opinion. Well, no, it is expensive over there, but even if I lived in California, New York, I would still be trying to go somewhere else, guys. That's the honest to goodness truth. You got to be able to move around. You don't have to stay in one location. You can definitely go to a different city and state. There's